Welcome to the UDP broadcast, a podcast where a group of friends get together and talk about gaming-related topics and offer both informed and uninformed opinion. I'm your host, Luminary, and I'm accompanied today by my co-hosts, the Eternal Barcode, Imi.
Hello, I'm selling people into slavery in RimWorld.
Yeah, which you're going to get a live look at as we're going through the podcast. And from the Emerald Dream and the Poutine Dream, Crit.
Poutine Queen?
Reign of the Crit Chicken.
Yeah, Poutine Queen and the Emerald Dream. What?
Yeah, Poutine. There we go. I'll have to remember that one next time.
Say that 1,000 times fast.
No.
You can't, though.
Nope. Not even going to try.
I apologize. With 17 minutes, you're probably going to hit an ad because I didn't start one before I opened my big fat mouth. So, yeah, be prepared for a 3-minute interruption. We'll get back as soon as that stops. I'll cut that out in the final edit. But yeah, episode 74. We are almost 25 away from episode 100. Hard to believe we've come this far. I mean, I didn't know how well this was going to go when I first started, and it's been one of my favorite things to do every weekend, for sure.
I look forward to it. That and On Patrol Live.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. Before we get started, Imi has some words.
I do. 10% of all the revenue generated by the stream, whether it's through ads, through donations, bits, subs, whatever, goes to the Trevor Project, and our wonderful mascot, Ping, has more details on what the Trevor Project is.
The Trevor Project is the leading organization working to end LGBTQ youth suicide in the US and beyond. The non-profit operates several programs to help prevent and respond to the public health crisis of LGBTQ youth suicide, including 24/7 free crisis services, research, advocacy, education, and peer support.
Thank you, Ping.
And one important note, this is an opinion show. We have our own opinions. They generally, probably, don't represent the same opinions as companies and whatever else. So in other words, don't sue us. We don't have any money. Go away.
And on with the show.
I mean, it's true, though. I mean, look at me. I'm half Greek. You know what the Greeks are known for. We have no money. In the wise words of Filthy Frank. Ha, 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 ha. If you know that whole video, and you know my reference, I commend you.
I do not.
I don't either. I just
I'll
like
have
the
to show
fact
you.
that to quote this person. All right. Well, that's a
No,
perfect
literally, he's going through the whole like, greetings and stuff like that in different countries and stuff like that. And how different people talk in different countries or something. And literally, the representation of Greek people is opening up your wallet to nothing, laugh like I have no money, ha ha ha, and then getting hit by a trash can. I was like, I felt that. That's me.
Why would you get hit by an urban mech?
I don't know. I mean, it feels probably the same as getting hit by a Cybertruck.
point.
I got you to laugh on that one though.
God damn it.
It does look like one of those automated freaking trash cans in the kitchen. Just gotta stand by it and it goes up. It's the same thing, just in silver.
Well.
Okay.
Oh man. So tonight's show, what do we got going on?
Well, the first thing I had on the list was Valve is trying to improve their their reviews to kind of flush out the meaningless ones for ones that are actually applied. So let's see here. What is it? I think it's trying to filter out unhelpful reviews, right? So that sounds neat because, quite frankly, have you seen any game reviews on Valve? I mean, some of them are great. But
Yeah, I was gonna say
Some of them has like the art that says, "Are you winning, son?" But
Oh, the ASCII art, yeah.
yeah, so they have that, and they have other stuff or whatever, and just random stuff. Some that's in there for like entertainment purposes or whatever. I mean, so I can see where they're going with it, but for the most part, I'm like, it should probably be like Reddit where you can download stuff or whatever, and then it gets pushed to the bottom or further back in the pages or something. That could be a thing, but that could also be taken the wrong way because the wrong thing could also be promoted too.
Yeah, downvoting is problematic because you can bury stuff just because you're being a whiny bitch and you don't like share it. You don't like the opinion of someone else. I think it's going to be interesting how they do it. It'll be interesting to see how they implement it and what that new review system takes form as or takes shape as.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some real gems out there that I think there's been a few games that you've even read off. Some are like, these are gold. We have to talk about these.
Absolutely, like Snoy.
Yeah, like Snoy. Snoy was a big one.
Snoy was amazing. My friend Bomb Redeemer, his review of Stationeers, where he set the water on fire. Yeah, like there are some amazingly great reviews out there, and then there's some that are just terrible. And as an IT person, I love reading bad reviews because I can usually pick out what the actual problem is based on what the person is not saying. So if someone says, "Oh, this story sucks," and blah blah blah, but then further down they're commenting about how, they had to skip dialogue boxes, it's like, okay, well, if you say it's got no story, but you're also saying you skip dialogue boxes, chances are that's where the story is, and chances are you're being an idiot.
The story writing is terrible, and you watch them play, and they're hitting A every time text shows up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so you wrote a shitty review because you didn't want to read. Gotcha. We can ignore you.
Why can't it be voice acted? Not everything has to be voice acted.
So, like, there's a negative review I just looked one up for MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. The combat is fun, but the business management aspect sucks. Every last drop of fun out of this game. Okay, so a business management sim is not for you. You just want arcade stompy robots. Try MechWarrior Online that doesn't really have that. MechWarrior 5 is a business management sim along with stompy robots. This game is not for you.
Yeah?
Like, I like bad reviews because they're always so funny to me. I am going to pull one up for XCOM 2. This can only be bad.
Well, you pulled that up. One of the examples they gave in here was, let's see here. Interesting to know who will be the arbiter of helpful, and this comes from Eurogamer. Helpful, though, as this is currently one of Elden Ring's highest rated reviews with over 400 helpful votes. Nothing in this game was as brutal as the moment when my son saw me fighting a boss and started cheering for the boss. 10 out of 10.
Nice. Now, where is the end user license agreement to this game? Somebody's complaining about it. They're calling the license agreement to XCOM 2 sketchy, which is always a great way of saying, I don't understand the words that are being shown in front of me. Like, seriously, more often than not, when people bitch about an EULA, they don't understand the words that they're being shown. So they don't know how to, not even interpret, they don't even know how to comprehend the words that have been, displayed in front of them. And it happens a lot, but that usually is a reading comprehension issue where you're reading typically likely around a grade 4 or 5 level, because end user license agreements used to be written at like university level. Then they legally had to dumb them down because they were using all kinds of fancy legal words that people were not understanding what the hell they were reading. But that was in the early 2000s, and since then they've been written at about a grade 8, grade 9 level. So if you're having trouble understanding the end user license agreement, perhaps you need to go and take supplementary reading lessons. Like, it sounds like I sound like an asshole saying it, and I'll readily admit it. But at the same time, these things are not that difficult to understand when you read them for what they are, and you don't try. The biggest problem people have is they try to find additional meaning behind the words that are in front of their faces. Like, just read them for what the words mean, and you're good. If you try and look for a hidden agenda in the words, you're going to get confused and, just fuck your brain up trying to read it. Like, it won't make any sense, and you'll be pissed off and frustrated. But the user agreements for most games outside of Snoy are typically all the same. It's pretty much, we're granting you a license to use the game. You don't own the game. You don't own any of the works related to it. If you make your own works based on the game, you own those. Don't pirate our stuff. Don't use our stuff for illegal purposes. Generally, that's what they are. And I mean, if it's got like virtual currencies or subscriptions. It'll have language in there for that, but really, it's not that crazy. I do like that the XCOM Take-Two limited software warranty and license agreement has no refund policy.
Mm.
But Valve has one, so fuck you. Well, that's the thing. Like, it says no refund. All purchases of VC and VG, which are, further up the EULA, are final and under no circumstance are virtual coins and virtual goods. So that makes sense. Like, if you're buying something through Take-Two itself, there's no refunds. But if I buy, like, say a DLC or a skin through Valve, I can get a refund. Fuck you. Except as prohibited by applicable law, licensor has the absolute right to manage, regulate, control, modify, suspend, and or eliminate such virtual currencies or virtual goods as it sees fit in its sole discretion, and licensor shall have no liability to you or anyone else for the exercise of such rights. So that sounds scary. What that basically means is if we get rid of the virtual goods or virtual currency, you can't stop us. It's our right to do so. Oh no. And you can't have a refund except when you buy it through Steam. Because Steam is like
That's
Valve is
fine.
pro-consumer. Right? Like,
Because, I mean, look what freaking GameStop used to do. I mean, if you tried buying something through GameStop or whatever and then tried returning it, I think they'd give you less money back or whatever, and they wouldn't even refund it. They'd actually just give it back into like store credit.
yeah, a lot of places do store credit because fraud is a huge issue in retail. And 20 years ago when I worked retail, it was a big issue then. And what you would get is someone who would buy a lot of stuff in the store. They'd be passing either, phony checks or using like a tactfully acquired, otherwise stolen, otherwise known as stolen debit or credit card, or they would be bringing counterfeit cash, trying to buy stuff, and you buy lots of high ticket, like high value items in one store, then you go to another store to return it all and get the cash. A lot of places I know, including the place I worked, they stopped doing cash refunds or refunds back. They started enforcing refunds back to the credit card or debit card was purchased on, and if it was cash purchased, it was returned as a gift card.
No,
So
but
you'd
it was
activate a
even
gift card.
as a debit card that I paid for it on, and they were like, well, it diminished in price or whatever. The best we can do is a store credit.
Well, yeah, you got to keep the
Like,
money inside the store. If it leaves the store, then there's a
Absolutely,
loss.
and
absolutely.
I'm just like, dude, your game is doo-doo. And I never, after that, I never went back. I was like, I remembered that day and I was like, it's just gonna screw you over because I'm not gonna buy from you, especially now with Steam. Why would I want to buy video games from GameStop? I mean, granted, I buy figures from GameStop. I have dog meat on my shelf right now, but that's about the extent of it. If I like something like that, get it. But a video game, no.
I'm trying to figure out that EULA thing where that person bitched about the sketchy license agreement. There's nothing in here other than saying like you can't make a copy unless it's for a personal copy. You can't make it available on a network. You can't like what are you complaining about, bud? The fuck is wrong with you? God, I love terrible reviews. They're great.
Yeah. So hopefully we get a lot more helpful reviews out of Steam because sometimes, like especially during like a downvote rush,
Yeah.
like yeah, like
Like Helldivers saw, but
which
kind
looking
of
at the
agree with
graph
that.
was hilarious.
I kind of agree. Like, no, not kind of. I wholeheartedly agree with what people did to Helldivers, where they absolutely trashed it because of the Snowy change of agreement,
Oh yeah.
and the fact that the company, the developer, didn't take enough or put as much effort into it as they should have, of letting people know that this feature will be coming and you will have to do this. They kind of just didn't really mention it, so bad on them. But apparently, they've recently got hammered in the reviews because they made a nerf to the game.
Oh really?
Yeah. So my big thing is, and I will always fight you on this. I don't care who you are. A developer has a vision for a game, right? Like they made their game. This is the way they want it to be played. You as a player have zero control over that unless they open it up to suggestions. So for you as a player, to have the audacity to think that a developer must abide by your playstyle or by your wants, you're ridiculous and you're full of shit. Your head's so far up your ass you can't even see sunshine. You do not control the game. You do not control the path it takes, the direction of how different features work. You get no control over that. You bought the game to play the game. Sit down and shut the fuck up. If a developer finds that a game is playing in a way that they don't want, say there's a specific meta of you need X gun, X shield, X backpack or whatever, regardless of the game, if that becomes a meta where everybody uses only that equipment and nothing more, they're going to make a change because that ruins the game when you only play one specific way. Because the idea of a game, especially when you have multiple different ways of playing it, is that you try very hard to have an even spread over play styles. So if you nerf something, it's because people were leaning too heavily onto one side of that play style, which was not what the developer intended. If you don't like it, by all means stop playing it. But downvoting it because you're a little bitch? Come on, grow the fuck up. Like, it's not your game. You don't get to control how the developer decides to nerf it or buff it or whatever. If you don't like it, go make your own fucking game. And then you try and figure out how to balance it when you have thousands of people screaming at you saying, "What the fuck are you doing to my game, you piece of shit?" Like, eat a bag of dicks.
I mean, I'm pretty much that way right now with work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm telling them how to improve their work.
But I mean,
They
work
don't
is a
like it that
different thing
much.
altogether, right? Like, yelling at Blizzard for how they nerf the shit out of, say, cats, or, demon hunters. That's one thing. Like, you can bitch about that, but at the same time, you don't get to dictate how the game is balanced. So if Blizzard says too many people are playing Demon Hunter in this very specific way, so they nerf that specific way, so that combination of skills or whatever else doesn't work as well anymore, that makes the game overall better. Like, get off your high horse and stop getting mad that they had the audacity to try and balance the game. And I think we have a lot of players out there who forget that they have no say in the development and the direction of the game. And they lose sight of the overall objective of a developer, which is to make a balanced game with balanced gameplay. So when you downvote a game because they nerf something, like, give your head a shake, man.
Makes sense to me. Heads up, we
We're
got about
having
2.5 minutes before an ad starts, so.
Yep.
And I just spilled my drink on me.
Oh no! Well,
I know, right? Like, that sucks. I was
That's-
like, why did I just feel a splash on my hand and on my leg? God damn it.
That's fine. You were saying, Crit?
I was gonna warn about the ad break too, but
Well, I think we should probably just push through it. We'll take a quick 3-minute on this one, and so that way the rest of it could be just fine. So as soon as
Yeah.
it starts, we'll.
It's funny that I'm not getting the ad break warning.
I am, at least on my side.
Well, yeah,
Still-
like you should, because you're the streaming host. But
I know-
oh, there we go. I switched to the mod view, and now I see that.
Yeah, it should be. It should have a warning. But yeah, I'm just hopeful that all the Steam reviews that move forward and get upvoted will be pushed to the top. And that's really all there is to it. Again, there's a lot of funny ones. It's almost like reading. Have you ever read the user reviews for sugar-free gummy bears on Amazon? Yeah, like that level of funny.
Huh?
oh, I love sugar-free gummy bears, especially when you eat the whole bag in one sitting. Oh, what a pleasurable experience for all to be had.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about a video game, not a food.
Well, I mean,
No, you
sugar-free.
mentioned sugar-free gummy bear reviews on Amazon.
Yeah, but Amazon Game
I have
Services.
personal experience of sugar-free gummy bears from being on the keto
Yeah.
diet for
Amazon
over a
does.
year.
CA.
I saw gummy bears and I got excited. I said, no, they're all lying. They're over exaggerating this whole sugar-free gummy bear thing. I was wrong.
Yeah, no, it's because they use xylitol for the sweetener.
I ate that. I ate it.
Keto gummy bears. Oh god.
Yep, sugar-free gummy bears.
So keto and gummy bear just should never be in the same sentence to begin with.
No, I
253
was on
ratings.
keto and had the sugar-free gummy bears. It's not keto gummy bears. It's just if you don't eat sugar and you want a gummy bear, you can have sugar-free.
Ad is starting in 6 seconds, so we'll see everyone when we get back. We'll continue on with the actual show. Until then, we're just going to talk nonsense.
Reviewed in the United States on May 22nd, 2024. We're not the best tasting sugar-free gummies at all. I have had much more flavorful ones than these. Sad smiley face. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. We got to look up something else. Yeah, there we go. Is it this one? I think it's this one. I gotta look something up here.
Huh?
I gotta find the 5-star reviews.
Do you want me to buy sugar-free gummy bears, by the way?
No, I would never eat them.
No, only
No,
if you
but
eat
if
them in the
I-
last like 30 minutes of your trip to Imy's house, at which point you'll understand the full effect of what those things will do to you.
If you've ever been in the military or know anyone who has, you understand that the military, whether it's Canadian military or American military, doesn't matter. They make you wear a PT belt when one person has an accident, and then they automatically assume the PT belt will save you from every future potential accident involving whatever that accident was. You can actually look up like soldiers wearing PT belts, and they're wearing them for every possible reason, like crossing the street, gonna wear a PT belt. I like the reviews from Amazon. This product will defeat vehicular projectiles and all unwanted impacts. Versatile and easy to wear, and goes with any outfit. Oh my god, I love these.
No, but you don't understand the effect of sugar-free gummy bears, huh?
No, I would never touch them in my life.
Good. He doesn't know.
I don't want to know either.
Let's just say.
Is it because I'm scaring you with how I'm saying things?
A little
about
bit,
them?
yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Like I said, they're
I
sweeteners.
mean, let me just say this: if you really need to go to the bathroom or you haven't did a BM, it's your best friend. It literally beats milk of magnesia.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Need a new PT belt to keep you safe? Look no further.
I don't even think a PT belt would, help me save me from any accidents.
Oh, absolutely. See, who needs a ground guide when you have this? Keep yourself safe against vehicle collisions. It's bulletproof, prevents terrorism, makes you undetectable to MPs, military police, and if you're an E4 or below, so sergeant and below in the Canadian military, makes you invisible to the chief sergeant or to the company sergeant major while still drunk and throwing up in the battalion run. If you put it around your luggage, it makes it impervious to TSA searches and protects the entire plane from ISIS and Al Qaeda.
That's some D&D level stats right there.
Yeah, when wearing this, I am perfectly safe. It stops bullets up to 7.62 by 39 RPGs, and if I fall into the pit latrine, they'll be able to see me and fish me out. God damn it! I love these reviews.
There's also the one with the 500 gallon of lube or something.
Okay, 500 gallon lube.
We are back in about 30 seconds, so let's see what we got.
Imagine coming back from the ad break and be like, "Whoa, look at these reviews!"
What? Oh wait, yeah, 500 gallon lube.
I thought it was that. It might be less than that, but there's like a giant tub of lube or whatever that they have.
64 ounces of lube, elbow grease, cream original formula. Yes, let's look at these. Let's look at these reviews. We're gonna ignore the innuendo in there. Oh my god! Instead of using bottles and bottles of lube, all you need is a small dollop on where you need it, and you can just work your way in. That's it. It's so thick.
Welcome back from ad break, everybody.
You can turn the top upside down; it won't fall out. So placing it where you need it will keep it in place instead of having it drip all around the place. I only wish it had more pleasant and less chemically scent. or chemical scent. Oh my god, this these reviews for this lube are amazing. Yes, chat. I looked up 500 gallons of lube on
It
Amazon,
was my suggestion.
and now I'm looking up the reviews. Uh, Warm water to wash off, amazingly slick and never tacky. Uh, that one was very specific. I am not reading that one out. That is absolutely love this stuff. Yeah, some of these I will not review. I will not read because they are extremely specific. What language is this? German? Oh no. Translate.google.com. Paste to English.
Once we get
It's
this one
not
done, we'll
even
move
real
on.
German. Oh, wait, detect language. Here we go. Excellent. Long lasting. The war. Okay, we're not going to finish reading that. Anyways, back on with the show as I read lube fucking
That's just what
Semper
we do here.
Fi. Why Semper Fi? Why would you put Semper Fi at no wait, no, I understand. Never mind. I get the reference.
Fair enough.
You get fucked over in the military, you get fucked in the ass by it.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I mentioned. Yeah, 55 gallons. Look at this comment.
Oh my. Yeah, I will read that later. My God. Anyways, on with the show. I do believe somebody went on strike, and that would be SAG-AFTRA, the voice actors and voice performers and stunt performers and whatnot, Screen Actors Guild. They went on strike because fuck you, studios. Short version is 160,000 people are now on strike as part of that union, and it all comes down to protections on AI. Now, the bargaining side, the employer side, you've got 30-ish studios, including Take-Two Interactive, Insomniac Games, Warner Brother Games. I believe Activision was on that list as well, and a few others. But basically what SAG-AFTRA wanted was protections to make sure that people's voices aren't used without their consent or their knowledge, and any mocap or motion capture people were also protected. Initially, the employer side only wanted to give protection to voice actors, with protecting them for performance without their authorization, generated by AI being used in that way, whatever else. But the employer was like, we only want to cover voice actors. And the only way we'll cover mocap performers or motion capture performers is if the motion capture performer is visibly recognizable. I'm sorry. When was the last goddamn time a motion capture actor was ever visibly recognizable in any performance?
Anyone that's wearing a face scan.
But you can't recognize them, right? Because you take the body and you put a digital skin over top. Their idea as the employer was, I have to be able to see your face as a human being. So a mocap performer would never be protected under that ground.
I can see that, yeah.
Because, I mean, you look at Mass Effect, every one of those actors had motion capture actors who spoke the voice lines, who did all the actions, but you're never going to recognize them unless they show you a scene, like a behind the scenes thing, where there's no digital skin grafted to that motion capture performer. So that would basically mean that mocap performers would be unprotected and potentially out of a job. Not likely at the beginning, but later on, there would definitely be some issues. And to me, that's bullshit, because I shouldn't have to see who you are to be able to say your job is protected. I'm going to make sure that I don't do anything without your consent or without your knowledge. Like, that's a really shitty move on the employer side. And I think it was probably a monetary decision, honestly, that they were like, we don't want to spend money because we want shareholders to be happy. Fuck you, shareholders. What? But so yeah, they're now on strike. Good luck to them. I really, really hope they get the protections they're looking for, because it's really important that no matter who you are working on a video game, you're protected from generative AI being used to simulate your work, whether it's artist work, whether that's motion capture, whether that's stunts, whether that's voice acting, whatever. You need to be protected against someone using AI to make a model of you and make that model do something and then reaping all the financial benefits while you get nothing. So good on them. I really, really hope they win this. And I hope the studios back down.
Yeah, same here. I mean, the whole motion capture thing was kind of just weird and bullshit anyway. It's just like, I got to thinking about it. I was like, at what point would any of them actually be recognizable? And I thought maybe face scans. Like, I know that if you've ever watched any of the most recent God of War items, I think it was God of War Ragnarok, I think is what it was. You'll see the voice actor all in the mocap suit with the headgear, and all the dots on his face to capture all the inflections of his face. Then I got to thinking, I was just like, that dude's African American, and Kratos is Norse white. So you wouldn't recognize the motion capture person. He would only get credited for the voice acting, right? And at that particular point, I can see that because not everybody gets a chance to do that. So I'm still wondering how they're going to use AI in the matter of stunts and motion capture and whatnot, because that requires something physical to capture. I know there's a lot of great modelers out there, at least as far as if you ever look up like source tutorials making source movies or Steam's source engine, like it tells you about 3-point positioning and keyframes and all kinds of other cool stuff. So I can see that, but as far as like having that controlled by AI, I don't see how that's going to happen. And that's just my whole deal about it. It didn't make any sense to me why that would be a fight, because that's already difficult. But then again, future proofing, because where there is a thought and a need, someone will find a way. Right?
Yep. And we have to protect workers, because if companies had their way, they would very likely just digitize all the work and perpetually reuse it through AI without any benefit to the actor. And I don't know about you, but if someone took my work and started duplicating that work through AI and not paying me for it, I'd be pretty pissed. I would want my money.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd run around like Stewie breaking knees saying, "Where's my money, bitch?" But I'd be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
It's fucking pay me. You used my work. Fucking pay me. I don't care if it's, a PowerShell script or a technical document I've written. If you take my work and then you start, making your own work based off of that, fucking pay me, or you will hear from me. And it will be a one-sided conversation.
That makes sense. That's why licensing is important. You got to understand the differences.
Yep.
Let's see here. YouTube is adding in community notes to the tune of like what you see in Twitter for people saying stupid shit.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about that? This actually kind of falls in Chris' realm, because I spend a ridiculous amount of time watching YouTube anyway, and some of the stuff I'm just like, oh my god, these people are delusional. I like the idea that there will be a crew of people going, actually, and that'd be great.
Actually.
Yes, and that'd be great. Go ahead, Crit.
I mean, I don't like doing the whole actually, because I actually do that. I actually do that a lot at work, and people kind of sneer at me for it.
I mean, that's just because they're not enlightened and they're a bunch of morons. I mean, what?
You're right.
There we go.
I mean, you do dumb shit, I'm gonna call you a moron.
Like, I would like to see a lot more community notes come up on a lot of the Bitcoin bull crap that comes up.
Oh, fuck yes.
I think they invited me to do the community noting on the YouTube stuff, but I'm like, why are you asking me? I'm a new channel.
I consume a lot of YouTube content. Ask me to. Although, to be fair, the people I follow, they don't say anything stupid other than that looks very efficient and that looks like a very strong shape. Thank you, real civil engineer.
Yeah, that was a funny interaction we had on Twitter today, though.
Oh, what happened?
Well, Hurricane Debbie kind of looks very strong as it heads up the American East Coast.
Oh,
Very,
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 very tube-like.
very strong shape, the strongest shape, if you will. The second strongest shape, of course, being a triangle. The strongest being very tube-like and very, very interesting. Yeah, so I may have mentioned that the shape of the path that Debbie was going on looked very, very efficient and very strong, and I tagged Real Civil Engineer, and he of course liked it. I will post the image that Raina posted in on Twitter, so people can have an idea as to what we're talking about. Image address. Here we go. And paste. That should work. But yeah. So it'll work if you go and click on that link in chat. You'll see the very strong shape of Hurricane Debbie.
Yeah,
But
it is.
unfortunately, my joke for Debbie and Texas did not work because Hurricane Debbie never went near Dallas, so I couldn't say Debbie does Dallas. And kids, if you hear this joke and don't know what it means, go ask your parents.
No.
Right. Parents are a wealth of
Absolutely.
knowledge.
Absolutely. They'll tell you. No, they really won't. And it's going to be goddamn funny.
We have kids watching our show. We're
doomed.
Yeah, we're doomed.
Yeah, no, go away. I'm not Dr. Disrespecting over here.
Yeah. Slam! It's Raina with a steel chair!
Oh my god! Stop
My
pressing
God! It's a steel chair. Anyways.
guys
Yeah.
off the steel cage!
I do want to wrap this up with talk about the creator of Balatro.
Oh? What happened there?
Well, he hates the idea that his game, Balatro, would be considered to be used for gambling. In fact, at the release of his game, there are lots of countries out there that took his rating from general all the way to 18 because the countries believed it had gambling-like elements in it. He hates, like, if you ever followed the creator of Balatro, like, he didn't even like poker, right? So that's why, honestly, I think that's why Balatro is so good, because it's so obscure. He's kind of like taken poker, turned it on his head, made its own rules, which is really great. But to the point, he was so afraid that his game might be used for gambling that he wrote it into his will that, hey, no, once I'm dead, this game cannot be licensed to casinos, for derivative works, for casino games, or anything like that, right?
Good. That's kind of awesome, actually.
Honestly, and if you've ever seen anybody play Balatro, like, it gets some ridiculous numbers, and I would love to see that game be introduced to the casinos without any alteration, because it would just, like, you'd walk out of there with the casino owing you money. It'd be great. Like, oh, go up to, like, the cage and be like, I'm here to cash out, and they look at the ticket, it has an E with like 45 numbers behind it. So,
Could be a slight case or a cause for concern.
right. I think it's awesome that he's very adamant about it and wrote it into his will to protect his work.
Well, that's
Can I
good.
just have a Meat Canyon casino game?
No,
What?
that's just horrifying to think of.
Oh my God, meat slots. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Damn it, no. Why would you put those two words in the same sentence?
Oh, and it has to be voiced by Meat
See?
Canyon himself. Like, period.
See, the puns just come out of nowhere now. I love it. I create good stuff.
So this has been my final show. Thank you for everything. So long, everybody!
Meat slots.
God
Meat
damn
Just
it.
pitch it at him. I mean, we
Uh,
already talked about Debbie.
Yep.
I mean, it's the perfect, it's the perfect compliment is to end it with meat slots.
Yeah. Well, speaking of meat slots, let's talk about our round table. Amy, what are you doing this week?
I am playing a variety of games. I've been playing some Cold Waters, which is a sub game. I've been playing RimWorld. I also finally decided to get back into Borderlands 2 and restart an entire campaign because I accidentally soft locked one of my characters, and it is impossible for me to progress no matter what I've done, including using a save game editor to remove the existing quests in the area for the whole story that I'm trying to do. So all the previously completed ones, yeah, none of it's working. None of the triggers work, so that character is in limbo for the rest of eternity. So I started over, and that's fun. I'm using overpower 10 level gear on normal difficulty, so I'm hitting for like 66 million damage per hit. I'm speedrunning, in other words.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Great.
because I want to speedrun normal, so then I can get up to ultimate Vault Hunter mode right away, and then put it on overpower right away.
Oh, very nice. I still haven't played Borderlands that much to like understand what that is. I've seen your numbers, and I'm just like, I can't compete. Like that's crazy. I've never
You
seen that.
I
can. It
haven't
takes a
played
while.
Borderlands since 2013.
Was it Borderlands or Borderlands 2?
Two. It was two.
For me, it was
Like
2016 was the last time I played it
five-year-old.
until this week.
Oh, you played it. You played it and showed it to me on stream. So,
Oh, that's right, I did.
yep. That was a long time ago, though. Like 3 or 4 years. No, was it 3? Because it was before we started podcasting, I think. Before we even built the Discord server.
Oh, maybe.
Oh
I
boy.
may, I may have swapped over to it.
Yeah, I just
Anywho,
saw it come up.
what is the Crit Chicken doing this week? Well,
Yes.
she's going to be watching On Patrol Live. And then in 2 more days, my son goes back to school, and conveniently, he also turns 16 on the same day he goes back to school. So happy birthday! You're getting back to work.
There you go. Shout out to Crit Son.
That means my summer vacation starts.
Yay!
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I had 2. I think one turned 14, and the other one turned 17. So we're getting one close to adulthood, and I'm still
It
trying to
was
figure out.
funny. I'm sorry.
I'm still trying to figure out
My
what that interaction is going to be like. But go ahead.
my coworkers. It was funny because I took my son to an air show like a couple of months back, and like today, my one of my coworkers was like, "So, do you have any children of your own?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have one." She's like, "Oh, that is so precious. How old is he?" 16. What? Like, yeah, I kind of like flipped my gray hairs and stuff like that. I'm like, "Yeah, he's turning 16 on Monday. Yay!" And she was like, who was that man that you were with at the event? I was like, that was my son. She's like, that wasn't your boyfriend. No, I made this
That's
16
mine. I
years
made it.
ago. Yeah, I keep on bringing it up. I'm like, yeah, I made this. This is mine. I made it.
That reminds me of that the meme of the otter holding his little baby, going, "Look at this! I made
Yep.
this." Yep.
Yep,
Yes.
I always keep referencing that because even when the one person thought that my son was my brother, I was like, no, I made this. And I he had to get, or people if they're over 18 have to get carded at my job or whatever to be let into the facility. If you're a minor, you don't have to get carded. So I go to, because it was a tour of the facility, right? And
Right.
I was just, and the guys are looking at my son and saying, "Okay, where's your card?" I'm like, I kind of like popped up and I'm like, "He's a minor. He's 15. He's my son." What? Proceed.
That's
He's
awesome.
taller than me. They don't understand that. He's taller than me. But
Good
yeah,
stuff.
on patrol and birthday and back to school shenanigans. And tomorrow no, not tomorrow, but Monday, I'm probably going to cheat on my diet with an Oreo ice cream cake.
That's going to be
Um.
awesome. Well, what's Lumi doing? There's an event in Sea of Thieves that I'm looking to finish up right now, and I'm going to try to convince Cajun to do it with me too, because they've taken my favorite place on the entire seas and ruined it, called the Devil's Roar. They've deactivated all the volcanoes and all the geysers, and so now everybody and their brothers there. They took everything, they turned off everything that makes everyone hate it, and the reason why I love it. um, I think that's pretty much what I'm going to be working on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
You know what that
And
means, right?
what does that mean?
Since they nerfed everything, you have to go write a bad review.
You know what? I might. Put some community
Fucking
notes on
clowns.
some of the Sea of Thieves creators.
Yeah.
But
Man, why are you playing Borderlands? Now I freaking the best part of Borderlands for me was actually opening up all those boxes. I was just like, oh, a piece of candy. I like it.
Oh yeah, I have excessive stuff at the moment.
No, it reminded me so much of like opening up the treasure chest in World of Warcraft, and I always got giddy whenever I found like a blue item in those chests and stuff like that. I'm like, I could sell this on the auction house. Yay.
but yeah, this is a shorter podcast this week. I have no Cajun. Cajun was not here tonight because he had his work week has been garbage. We've been hearing about it all week, so I don't blame him. I thought that perhaps maybe something terrible happened to the guy, and so I was like, hey, let me know when everything settles down. He's like, no, I left a message in host chat, which he did at like 7, and I totally missed it because streamer mode. So, other than that, yeah, no, it's going to be more Sea of Thieves this week, and I don't have anything else. There were some other minor things that was in the news, but it was more op-ed type stuff, like why it's hard to cover gotcha games, and it mostly had to deal with paywalling. So, like, I'm sure you're familiar with those free-to-play games where you get so far, and then it's almost impossible unless you meet some certain bar, and the only way to get that efficiently is to actually spend.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what you call a shit business practice. Or not shit, but a predatory business practice.
Right.
When you make it so that the paying out of pocket is faster and almost the only way of doing things instead of doing the grind.
Pretty much.
I
I
hate
mean,
that.
as Jim Stephanie Sterling would say, if you have implemented pay to win, pay to win mechanics into your game and set a bar for people to spend money, then your game is not free to play completely and uninhibitedly. I mean, yeah, technically it is, but eh. What else did we have? Let's see here. There was an indie game that I didn't care about, so I didn't touch on it, and something else. Oh, what is a gamer? And I didn't feel like going through that conversation of, Grit, what do you think a gamer is? Other than that, that's it. That's us for the week. That's episode 74. Join us again, episode 75. That puts us 3/4 of the way to 100 episodes. So hopefully in 25-ish weeks, we'll get to see that before we go on holiday vacation in November.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have that much because what is it, August right now? So we've got like, 3 left in August, 4 in September, about 4 in October. And November, we'll just take the 2 months off and come back sometime after January, after everybody gets back from vacations.
And I'll
And
be
marriage.
And marriage.
birthday.
And birthday. Whose birthday?
My
Her
birthday.
birthday, and we're getting married, and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
I really wanted to, but I have to be here for the
It's all
kiddos.
right. We figure we'll probably have something like later on or whatever when it's less chaotic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Maybe have it a bigger event or whatever. Because like as much as realistically as I'd like to have a big wedding and stuff like that, it's too expensive. And it's not like I can get a social up there because I know nobody.
Yeah?
Nobody knows.
Well, just know if you ever decide to like road trip it down here to Dallas Fort Worth in Texas, we'll go find some fun shit to do.
Yeah, I'll have some barbecue or something. I
Oh,
heard
and
the barbecue.
I'd have to cook it. I mean, you'll probably never go back to Canada if you have my grilling. Like, I'm used to seeing my meat pics. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I've seen Lumi's meat.
Hey.
Lumi has shown me his girthy meat.
Oh, it is beautiful.
It's
Oh,
very girthy.
yeah. Speaking of,
And very thick.
I still need to bring some of my grilling over to Serafina's family. They live just right down the street from me, so.
What happens if you add your barbecue to poutine? Ah,
It would be Lumi's exceptional poutine, is what would happen.
It'd be like a pulled pork poutine, really. And I am a sucker for those.
Oh,
I've never had it.
Pulled pork poutine? Oh, God.
you know, I do have
So,
some bear claws in my utility drawer. I totally can like shred up some pork.
the other
I
night,
thought
I
you meant
was.
like bear claws, like the pastries. I was like, you have pastries in your utility drawer?
But I mean,
Oh, no,
Do
I was
you
saying.
know what bear claws are?
Yeah. They're just a sugary pastry that, No, I'm in the wrong spot.
Why
God
did
dang
you just go eh? I like
it.
those things. I feel
You
so
can
disheartened by
you
your
can like
reaction.
them all you want. I'm not a fan of turbo sugar. I never
Why
have
are
been.
you downvoting my likes?
I'm not.
Should put
I'm
in a
saying
community
you can
note,
have
Crit.
your likes. I just will not add to them.
You should
You
put in
don't
a
like
community
them.
In
note,
the
Crit.
community note, my freaking bear claws is being like, this is shit.
Nope. I would not do that. People
Dumb.
like what they like. I do not like turbo sugar. I used to, as evidenced by what I would call ice cream years ago, which was chocolate ice cream with chocolate sauce, chocolate sprinkles, maple syrup, and then corn syrup and honey roasted peanuts on top.
Listen, I was such a gremlin back when I was younger, when I actually loved sugar. A lot of sugar. A lot of sugar. I mean, a lot of sugar. That my
Mhm.
mom would actually get mad at me whenever she noticed that the frosting jars would actually go missing. So I ended up stealing like one of those funfetti frosting things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I ate that with a spoon. Oh,
God damn, no.
Well, speaking of
chocolate.
spoons, let's go ahead and end the podcast right now. If you're here on Twitch, hang out. We're going to go find somebody to go raid, and I'm going to go eat dinner. So hang tight. Thanks for coming by, everyone. We'll see you later.
So long,
That's
everybody.
horrible.
Why is our thresher up here?
Have a good one. See you next
Bye.
week.
Yarr.